During the Pokemon Day Pokemon Presents, the Pokemon Company revealed to us a brand new 7-star Tera Raid event happening in the Pokemon Scarlet video games. This 7-star Tera Raid features a ground Tera Venusaur with an absolutely brutal move pool. So in today's video, I've got 4 counters that will help you in defeating this mighty foe. So let's get in this video and get you all prepared. Okay, so before we get into those 4 counter builds that we made for this Venusaur 7-star Tera Raid, let's talk about the actual Pokemon that we're battling so that we can get a better idea of why we brought the Pokemon that we did bring for these builds. Now, this 7-star Tera Raid is going to be a ground Tera, which offers a little bit of extra damage and coverage for this Venusaur, which can definitely be a little bit difficult because it's going to be pumping out a chunk of damage. Now, the event details, these are going to be going from February 28th, so they have been out for a day or two, and they will be going until March 5th. So you do have a little bit of time, a little wiggle room to catch this one if you haven't caught it already, but you don't have forever. They are going to be shiny locked, and you can only catch 1 per save file, so don't sit there trying to shiny or reset it to get a shiny one to pop up. They never will, and you only catch 1, so make sure you catch it in that right type Pokeball that you want it in. Now, Venusaur is our seed Pokemon. It is a grass and poison type, plus the bonus of that ground Tera. So we've got 3 different types of moves that we really got to be worried about with this Tera Raid. First one being Earth Power. Earth Power is a strong special type attack that will be super effective into some of the Pokemon that you might have thought about bringing, like a Steel type Pokemon. So I would definitely shy away from some of the Steel type Pokemon because you're probably going to get rocked pretty hard. We've also got Sludge Bomb, a poison type attack that does a ton of damage and can potentially poison your Pokemon. Giga Drain to get the Venusaur some HP recovery. We've also got Petal Blizzard, which will do a nice chunk of damage. We've also got Amnesia, which will boost your special defense. We've got Growth, which will boost your attack, specifically your special attack. And if you are in the sun, which it has Sunny Day, it will actually boost it by 2 stages instead of 1. So this Pokemon has definitely got a special attack heavy build with a decent chunk of special defense. So we're probably going to be looking at more attack heavy Pokemon to counter this raid, because otherwise you're going to have to be dealing with Amnesia and some other things you really don't want to worry about. So for that, we have 4 different type of builds that I built for this one. The first one is going to be the Hisuian Goodra, which I think will probably be the best build and also the best solo build for this. And I know earlier I said don't bring a Steel type Pokemon. Well, there's a reason why Goodra I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about that when we get up to its build. We've also got Glastrier, one of the biggest ice type Pokemon powerhouses. Could definitely be a really great option as far as a physical attacker on a snow team or anything along those lines. Chesnaught has also been proven to be one of the best Pokemon to just rock in, walk here, and do this Tera Raid event with little effort. So Chesnaught definitely seems to be a really solid option. And then Mew was one of those ones where I thought would be a really great supportive type Pokemon in like some of those snow type teams that people might want to be bringing. But yeah, overall, I think all these 4 builds are going to be fantastic. But let's kick it off with what I think probably my favorite build for this one, and that's going to be Hisuian Goodra. Let's hop into it. Okay, so here we are with our Hisuian Goodra, and you might have been wondering, well, why is the Hisuian Goodra going to be your best option for a Earth or a ground Tera Venusaur when it's got Earth Power? It just doesn't make sense. Well, the big reason is because this particular Hisuian Goodra is immune to all 3 attacks for Venusaur, which is wild. You have 3 immunities if you build this one correctly, and so we'll talk about that. So our first immunity is going to be Sap Sipper, the ability. Sap Sipper basically means that you can't be hit by a grass type move, so you have completely negated both Petal Blizzard and Giga Drain. Moving on to our next one, you are a Steel type Pokemon, which means you are immune to Sludge Bomb. So that is 2 immunities you have. Now our big one, the one that we really need to worry about, is Earth Power. Well, there's a way that you can make Hisuian Goodra immune to Earth Power, and that is by giving it the Air Balloon, an item that actually makes you float in the air and immune to Earth or ground type attack. I don't know, I keep on wanting to say Earth and ground interchangeably, and they're not the same. But you are immune to ground type attacks, which is crazy. So we legit have a Pokemon that is 100% immune to every single thing that this Venusaur does. So you can just sit there and do whatever you want to. Pretty wild. But yeah, this is, I think, probably going to be the best solo build. It's a bulky Pokemon with plenty of ability to up its damage and just overall sit there and be annoying. It's really, really cool. I thought this was a really awesome build. But we also, because we're not getting any damage like into us, We don't need to be worrying about any of our special defense. We don't need to worry about speed, defense, whatever it is. We went straight up attack and HP and just gave a little bit in special defense because we're just trying to knock the Venusaur out as quick as possible. So give it that 252 attack boost, give it the adamant nature, and really watch this Goodra just come home strong in this 7-star Terra Raid event. We've got Gyro Ball. We've got Curse to actually boost a little bit of that defense. I mean, it's attack, defense. We've also got Protect and Iron Head. So all the moves that we need in order to really make sure that we knock out this Venusaur. I think this is absolutely fantastic. And I'm really excited because at the end of this tutorial video where I go through all the guides, I am actually going to take that Hisuian Goodra into a Venusaur 7-star Terra Raid to show you just how well it works in there. So stick around for that one. But let's get into our next raid build, which is going to be Glastrier. When I was going through the Venusaur's stats and all the moves and abilities that ended up happening, I was looking at Pokemon that I could build to bring and counter this. I was like, okay, well, we need an ice type Pokemon. We need one with a heavy attack stat. Let's go with our good old horse boy, and let's go with Glastrier. I love Glastrier. I've always been a big fan of him. I think he's a fantastic Pokemon design, and I absolutely loved using him in Sword and Shield with Trick Room. So one of my favorite Pokemon, and I'm glad that we're able to build with him. I think that this one could be very, very useful, especially if you got like some snow team support where you're rocking like Snowscape and other things like that to really just help this Pokemon do what it needs to do. I think it'd be really awesome. So basically with this Glastrier, we went with the 252 HP, 140 attack, and 116 special defense, so we can kind of level out a little bit of our attack and defense where we're living, while also still pumping out a decent enough amount of damage. Chilling Neigh is the only ability you get with Glastrier, so not really much change on that one. And we went with the Adamant Nature and Shell Bell, so we get some HP recovery when we're doing those big attacks into the raid boss. Now, for our attacks, the ones that I went with was Swords Dance. I feel like Swords Dance is one of the only supported moves that Glastrier gets that can help out in a 7-star Terra Raid, and is one that you probably should just immediately plug in if you're bringing it. So, it gives you a +2 attack boost every turn that you use it. Huge. The other big damaging move we went with is Icicle Crash. It's that constant, you know it's going to do that much damage. It does have a 10% chance to miss, so you do always have that option as well, which can be a little bit frustrating. Now, we also do get access to Snarl, which is kind of cool from a physical attacking Pokemon, but it is also one of those ones that you don't have to worry about not being able to actually get your special attack drops in, because it does do damage to the Venusaur. So you can even do it while it shields up, which could definitely be really helpful and help support your team a little bit with those Snarls. The last move was one of the ones I had the biggest problem trying to figure out, because Glastrier doesn't have the biggest move pool of things to pick from. It doesn't really also have a lot of really like supportive things to help it in a 7-star Terra Raid. It is kind of a one-trick pony, to be honest. And so I was like, all right, let's pick up Avalanche. Avalanche actually states that if you are hit before your move goes off, you actually do double damage, which could be 120 base power attack from Glastrier, which you do a really solid chunk of damage in this Venusaur. And the fact that Venusaur is probably going to be a lot faster than the Glastrier, you might actually get some pretty solid usage out of this Avalanche. So that was the reason why I picked it. I think it's going to work out pretty well. And like I said, I think this one's going to work out with a really like a solid support type Pokemon. So I did build a support ice type Pokemon that I think will work for this raid. So let's get into Mew next. All right, so now for a support build that will match really well with Glastrier. I think that this Mew build would fare very, very well with an ice type Pokemon, or more specifically that Glastrier build that we were talking about. For a few different reasons. One, Mew that learns anything, so you can really shore up any of the weaknesses from your team members by just having a Mew on the team and plugging in a move that you really need. Light Screen, Bug Buzz, Snowscape, Nasty Plot, Ice Beam. I mean, the list goes on and on. You could literally add anything you want to that would help with this. But I think these four provide some really consistent help that you'll need in this raid. One, Ice Beam gives you a damaging type move that you're going to want. Nasty Plot ends up helping you boost your own special attack so you can actually do damage to the raid boss. Snowscape will actually remove the sunny days so that you remove some of the buffs that the Venusaur is getting, either from those growth and or from its chlorophyll abilities. So all in all, that will help out a ton. And then you also have Bug Buzz, which will remove its special defense stat, helping you do even more damage. So all in all, this will be a fantastic Pokemon that would pair really well with Glastrier, because Glastrier is able to drop the special attack with Snarl. Mew's allowed to drop the special defense. You can always find a way to drop the defense or stuff like that, but there are definitely ways where you can really make these two mesh really well together and have a solid team comp to roll into this Venusaur and just knock it around. So I think Mew would be your probably what your better support type Pokemon. But I am curious, down in the comments, let me know what type of support type Pokemon you brought to the 7-star Venusaur raids. I'd be really curious. There were not a whole lot of support Pokemon that I was finding or were able to work with. So if you have some suggestions, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. But let's hop into our final Tera raid event, or Tera raid build for this one, and that is going to be Chesnaught is our final Pokemon for this 7-star Tera raid event. And Chesnaught is one of those ones that, I don't know, probably a lot of people were like, nah, no way, you're gonna run that. But there's a really big reason why Chesnaught has some viability in this Tera raid event, and it's much similar to our Hisuian Goodra. It actually gets an immunity to some of the moves that the Venusaur is doing. And more in particularly, it's due to the fact that it gets the ability Bulletproof, which means you're immune to bullet or bullet type moves, and there's a whole list of them, but one of them in particular that you are immune to is Sludge Bomb. So you are completely immune to the poison type attacks that your Venusaur would be throwing at you, which means that this Chesnaught, who would normally be really afraid of those Sludge Bombs, has zero issue with them and can come into this Tera raid event dropping some massive damage and just overall being a real annoying Pokemon for the Venusaur. The reason being is the Venusaur is a ground Tera, which means it is weak to grass type attacks. So what we can do is we can actually belly drum, and then we can seed bomb it, or we can drain punch it and get a massive amount of damage off into this Tera raid event. And you also get that spiky shield, so you can get a little bit of protection if you need to. All in all, I think that Chesnaught would be another fantastic option for a solo as well. I think Hisuian Goodra is probably going to be your best option just because you have 3 immunities. Chesnaught would be another fantastic option. If you're playing with a group of people, I think the ice type Pokemon with like Glastrier and Mew would be another really great option for you to have as a group kind of effort for taking out this Tera raid event. Here we are with my Venusaur raid, so let's get into this one and see if we can't solo it with my Hisuian Goodra. So we're gonna challenge alone and see what we get. Oh, I think my game is muted. One sec. All right. Hisuian Goodra immune to all 3 attacks. I'm curious if we can keep this all the way through, and if we end up not getting hit even once, that would be quite hilarious. But this one, it still should be a little bit difficult. It is a 7-star Tera raid, so it's definitely gonna be doing we are on a timer. That's kind of always the biggest thing, is we gotta actually knock it out in the time frame that we need to. So all right, so we can intimidate from Arcanine. We got our air balloon, so we floating. Sunny Day goes out right off the bat, and I believe there's also a growth that goes out. Yep, so you get a +2 special attack boost immediately once this battle starts. And then they use Petal Blizzard. So it's literally Sunny Day, growth, Petal Blizzard. So you immediately get absolutely just hit with like 3 moves right off the bat, which is pretty cool. Let's go with the Gyro Ball. It does actually a decent little chunk of damage. Okay. So special defense is like maxed out already. We just need to actually get ourselves, because we want to wait until he actually resets all his stats. Okay, so he's reset all of our stats. So now we're just going to curse. And that was kind of what we're waiting for. It's like, you don't really want to do that until then. And it's funny because Gyro Ball, I think because you're slower, actually does more damage once you have done curse a few times, which is pretty funny, to be honest. Yeah, so user tackles the target with high speed spin. The slower the user is in the target, the greater the user's power. So all these curses that we're doing, we're actually boosting our Gyro Ball's damage for later on here in a little bit. And it's funny that we still have not gotten hit, and I don't think we're going to be getting hit because we've got the air balloon, we are steel typing, and we have that Sapsiver. So I think with this one, I think we just need to use curse 6 times, because it only boosts our stats by 1 each time. Okay, so we've done it 3 times now. 3 more times here. Get another curse in there. We're losing a lot of our timer, but we're also not going to take any damage, and we're also just going to come in and start doing a ridiculous amount of damage. As we +6 attack, -6 speed, which means that gyro ball is going to just, I mean, that thing is going to rip this Venu a new one. Oh, it's going to be good. I can't wait to see it. Now I think about it, I think we should have Iron Headed first because Gyro Ball doesn't have that many. Oh wait, we've already done it 6 times. I think we can do it again. That was a waste of turn. We should have done that. We should have been paying attention. Okay, so now I think we're gonna Iron Head a couple of times to get it out of this. Get it a little bit closer because we only have 6 out of 8. I don't want to waste them all. I don't know how much they're gonna do. Oh, we need a Tera. Let's Tera in the next one. This is the sloppiest Goodra knockout for Venusaur in the world. How much is this gonna do? Almost nothing. A little spicy, not doing a whole lot of damage. We need a little more damage out of this. We're already past halfway, which is not good. We're definitely running out of time here. We gotta hurry up and get some damage out into this Venusaur here. There we go. That's what we're talking about. With how much damage that did, we should break the shield here in a couple turns, which means it shouldn't take too much longer. And then once that shield's down, we should be... Yeah, that Iron Head did really good damage. So it should bring us right to like the... Right on the edge of it. Oh, we still need one more? Give me one good one right here. Break the shield. Ooh, close. I think we're gonna try a Gyro Ball. I don't know how close this will be. The last one didn't do a whole lot of damage. Let's see what this Gyro Ball does. I don't think we were Terra'd last time either. Did a solid chunk. We're outside of the shield now, so that's always a plus. And at this point, I think it's pretty much in the bag. This should do a ton of damage. Let's go. Now we've caught up with the timer. This one should put us below the timer for sure. Right there. All right, one more hit. We're done. So yeah, that was honestly super easy. Honestly, out of all of these 7-star Tera raids that I've ever done in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that was hands down the easiest one that I've ever done. Hisuian Goodra with this build is an absolute cakewalk for a solo build, and if you're not doing it, I mean, that was wild. I mean, you saw it. I didn't do anything. I didn't take any damage. That was super cool. Let's see. What do I want? The Beast Ball? We want the Friend Ball. I think we're going with Friend Ball. We got a Friend Ball. Let's use it. Let's go. That was epic. What an absolute... And honestly, even... We had plenty of time and we still messed up a couple of our turns. I mean, we used Curse. We already had it 6 times. We probably didn't use our moves the right way. So, like, I think when the shield is up, you need to be using your Iron Head. And then once the shield is done with, then you pump into your Gyro Ball. And it would have probably gone back even quicker. So, which is wild. Did we get any herbs of mystic? No, we didn't get lucky at all. We got no herbs of mystic. So there's also another chance. If you beat this 7-star Venu raid, you have a chance of getting herbs of mystica, which you've never been able to get the chance of before in the past either. So also another addition to this 7-star Tera raid. Yo, thank you all so much for tuning into my Venusaur 7-star Tera raid guide. I had an absolute blast making this one. Also, just the fact that one of those builds was so easy in this raid, I'm baffled at how easy Hisuian Goodra was to solo Venusaur. So if you're looking for a really easy solo build, grab that Hisuian Goodra and rock it up in there, because man, that was one of the easiest 7-star raids I've ever done in my life. And again, if you like this kind of content from me, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. Lets me know that you enjoyed the video and that I should continue making these kind of videos, as well as lets YouTube know and the algorithm know that this was a good video with some solid information other people should be checking out as well. And again, thank you all so much. If you like these kind of videos, there's also going to be a video that pops up on the screen here from some of my other guides that I create on YouTube. If you like these kind of guides, check that one out, because it'll help you get a shiny apple, and it's super, super easy. But again, I hope you have a fantastic day out in the Paldea, the Kitakami, and now the Blueberry Academy, catching you new 7-star Tera raid Venusaur. And until next time, trainers, peace out.